Good morning, everyone. Shauna, your tax goddess. Today, I want to talk about illegal, abusive tax shelters. Yeah, I know that sounds really scary. So let me back up here. Okay, most, now I'm not saying all, okay, there are definitely Ponzi schemes, there are bad things out there, but most illegal, abusive tax shelters don't often start that way, okay? Normally what's happened is they start off as a legal tax strategy, but somewhere along the way, somebody got greedy, somebody did something that they didn't realize was a problem, but is now a problem, right? Somewhere along the way, something went dreadfully wrong, okay? And the unsuspecting public is never told about the problems, right? Just when they get caught for doing an illegal abusive strategy, which they didn't know was illegal or abusive, right? They get shown the case law that proved the initial tax strategy, right? The good above board tax strategy, but they don't necessarily see all of the ongoing issues and problems and case laws and other things that are happening, okay? So there's two big things that I want you to know here, all right? One is this is what Tax Goddess does, okay? We are very, very driven to ensure that any tax strategy that we work with for clients, we follow up, we're checking the case law, we're checking into it, okay? One of the more common ones, for example, is the 831B transactions, the captive insurance companies. And are they good? Are they bad, right? There's a wide spectrum of these things, right? There are good ones and there are bad ones, but that one in particular is on the IRS's list. So if you are a taxpayer working in one of those transactions, an 831B captive insurance company, you want to go back to your insurance company, I would suggest, at least every year and say, give me an update of all the new court cases, give me all of the research, give me all of the documentation, and I would suggest that you do your own, right? If you have the name of your particular captive company, I would even suggest that you set up a Google alert to bring up the name of your captive company, right? So if there's a problem related to that name, you're going to see it. You're going to see those articles, okay? So that's my first thing. Now, secondly, the IRS has actually put together a joint task force from various groups in the agency, including criminal investigation, government entities investigation, large businesses, and small business groups, because they want to send out warnings to taxpayers before the taxpayers get into trouble, okay? They're really, it's amazing, but the IRS is actually trying to be helpful here, okay? They're trying to send out warnings before the abusive tax shelters become popular, okay? Now, the part that I think is most important is watch what you're posting on social media, okay? The government agencies, this task force is watching your social media, right? I don't know why anyone thinks this is private information, but if you post something on public media, social public media, right, it is public, okay? And the IRS is using that to track down not only abusers, but unfortunately, individuals that are using abusive tax shelters, okay? So be very careful what you post on social media, big things that will get you flagged. Somebody literally last night, one of our clients sent me a video of a guy on TikTok saying, I wrote the IRS a letter and they wrote back, I wrote them a letter saying, I don't want to participate anymore. And they wrote back and said, okay, no problem. We won't contact you anymore. Guys, right? Please be careful what you're saying. Be careful what you're following from TikTok, from social media, okay? There was a very famous case, CPA that had gathered something, it was like 400,000 people that he was telling you taxation is completely illegal. You do not have to file tax returns. You don't have to pay them. Guess who paid? I mean, he ran off. He moved, I think it was Belize, right, a non-extradition country. And all of those 400,000 taxpayers got hit with fines and penalties and underpayment. I mean, guys, right? So please, please, please be very, very, very careful what you're following and what you think is good. This is why you have a tax strategist on your team, okay? It's very, very, very important to have not only your regular traditional CPA, the person inputting the numbers and filing that tax return for you, but a tax strategist that specializes in following up and checking the history and watching the court cases to know what's going on and what's really happening, okay? So the other thing I want to mention about social media, if you're posting on social media, right, and we see this all the time, I bought a Lamborghini and my CPA let me write it off. I bought a yacht and my CPA let me write it off. You better be careful because the IRS will come check Not that you're doing anything illegal. Those things can be written off and they can be above board. But if you're not doing it right, you might get nailed. Okay. And we don't want you to get nailed, right? We always have that 0 to 10 on the aggression scale. 0 meaning the IRS never calls you, never ever, except for random audit. And 10 meaning we're all going to jail. In a perfect world, you really don't want to go above an 8. You're okay with a phone call from the IRS as long as everything's legal and backed up and proof. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, if a tax strategy was brought to your attention, like this TikTok video, right, feel free to reach out to Tax Goddess. This is the kind of stuff we do, looking at tax strategies, helping you legally and above board reduce your taxes, not using illegal, abusive tax shelters. That would be not good. And as I've said to many people, red does not look good in orange. So Tax Goddess would never do something like that. So if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out to the team and I. You can find us at taxgoddess.com. Let's see how low we can get your tax return, your tax rate legally and above board, most importantly. All right, y'all have a great day and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.